Hello, everyone. In this lesson, we are working on a TOEFL writing task called Write for an Academic Discussion. Before we move on to the question, this short introduction will help you understand what is expected and how to approach the task. You will practice writing clearly, politely, and effectively in a real-life situation, which will prepare you for the writing section. If you find these lessons helpful, make sure to follow my TOEFL for more daily tips. Let's keep working toward your dream score together. A professor has posted a question about a topic, and students have responded with their thoughts and ideas. Make a contribution to the discussion. This instruction tells you that you are entering a virtual classroom. Your job is to read the professor's question and the other students' comments, then add your own unique perspective to the conversation. You will have 10 minutes to write. This is your time limit. In just 10 minutes, you need to read the prompt, plan your ideas, and type a high-quality response of at least 100 words. Your professor is teaching a class on psychology. The subject is psychology. This is important because it tells you to use an academic tone and perhaps some psychological terms. Knowing the field helps you stay on topic and meet the professor's expectations for a scholarly discussion. Write a post responding to the professor's question. In your response, you should do the following. This part reminds you that your primary goal is to answer the specific question asked by the professor. Do not just write general facts. Make sure you address the prompt directly. Express and support your opinion. You must clearly state which side you are on, and then provide strong reasons or examples to back up that claim. Supporting your opinion is key to getting a high score in the development category. Make a contribution to the discussion in your own words. Originality is crucial. You should interact with what others have said, but you must use your own vocabulary and sentence structures rather than copying them word for word. An effective response will contain at least 100 words. While you only have 10 minutes, you should aim for a minimum of 100 words. Writing a bit more, around 120 to 150 words, often allows for better detail and support. Professor. We often talk about what motivates people in their careers. The professor introduces the theme of motivates, which means the reasons why people work hard and stay in their jobs. This sets the stage for the entire debate. Some theories suggest that intrinsic motivators, such as a sense of purpose, personal growth, and enjoyment of the work itself, are the most important factors for job satisfaction. Here, the professor defines intrinsic motivators. These are internal rewards, like feeling your work matters, or simply liking the tasks you do every day. Notice how the professor lists examples to help you understand the concept. Other perspectives emphasize extrinsic motivators, like salary, benefits, and public recognition, as the primary drivers of employee happiness. Now we see the opposite side, extrinsic motivators. These are external rewards like money or awards. In your response, you should decide which of these two categories is more powerful. Which type of motivation do you think plays a bigger role in a person's long-term job satisfaction? This is the core question. Pay attention to the phrase, long-term job satisfaction. The professor isn't just asking about what gets you through the first week, but what keeps you happy for years. Why? The word why is an invitation to provide logical arguments and evidence. This is where you earn points for your ability to explain complex ideas. Student 1. I believe intrinsic motivators are far more important for long-term satisfaction. Student 1 takes a clear stand, using the phrase, far more important, to emphasize that internal feelings outweigh external rewards over time. A high salary might be nice, but if you don't find your work meaningful or interesting, you will likely feel unfulfilled over time. The student uses the word unfulfilled to describe the empty feeling someone gets when they have money but no passion for their daily tasks. For instance, feeling like your work makes a positive difference provides a sense of purpose that money can't buy. By mentioning a sense of purpose, the student highlights a reward that is purely emotional and psychological, reinforcing the argument for intrinsic motivation. Student 2. I would argue that extrinsic motivators play a larger role. Student 2 disagrees, choosing to argue that external factors like money are actually the primary drivers of satisfaction. While enjoying your job is good, financial security is a fundamental need. This student focuses on financial security, suggesting that basic survival and comfort are more important than passion. A good salary reduces stress about bills and allows a person to provide for their family and enjoy life outside of work. The student argues that a job's purpose is to provide for a lifestyle, meaning the satisfaction comes from what the money buys, not the work itself. Therefore, without adequate compensation, it is very difficult to be truly satisfied. The conclusion here is that adequate compensation, or a fair salary, is the non-negotiable requirement for happiness in any career. Now let's write our response. Our goal is to acknowledge both students while clearly supporting one side with sophisticated language and new examples. We will start by connecting the two viewpoints to show we are paying attention to the discussion. While student 2 correctly identifies financial stability as a prerequisite for well-being, I am more inclined to agree with student 1 that intrinsic factors are the cornerstone of long-term job satisfaction. In the first part of our opening sentence, while student 2 correctly identifies financial stability as a prerequisite for well-being, we are acknowledging the previous speaker. This shows the rater that we can integrate ideas in an academic setting. Then, we move to our main thesis. I am more inclined to agree with student 1 that intrinsic factors are the cornerstone of long-term job satisfaction, which clearly states our position. Using words like cornerstone shows a high level of vocabulary, which helps your score in language use. While a competitive salary can initially attract an employee, it often fails to sustain engagement over many years if the work itself is repetitive or lacks meaning. Now we add a deeper layer to the argument. We start with, while a competitive salary can initially attract an employee, which admits that money matters at first, but we quickly pivot to the long-term reality. It often fails to sustain engagement over many years if the work itself is repetitive or lacks meaning. This explains why money isn't enough for the long haul. This logical contrast strengthens your score in coherence and development. Research in positive psychology suggests that flow, the state of being completely immersed in an activity, is only achievable when one finds the task intrinsically rewarding. To make our post sound truly academic, we reference the field mentioned in the prompt. We say, research in positive psychology suggests that to set up a scientific point. Then, we introduce a specific term, flow, the state of being completely immersed in an activity, is only achievable when one finds the task intrinsically rewarding. Explaining a concept like flow demonstrates that you can discuss complex psychological theories effectively. Furthermore, extrinsic rewards often suffer from the hedonic treadmill effect, where individuals quickly adapt to their new income level and seek even more. We add another sophisticated argument here. Furthermore, extrinsic rewards often suffer from the hedonic treadmill effect, uses a high-level psychological term that fits perfectly with the lesson's context. We then explain it clearly, where individuals quickly adapt to their new income level and seek even more. This shows the rater you can expand on an idea with specific, relevant details. In contrast, a sense of personal growth and professional autonomy provides a continuous source of energy that prevents burnout. Now we contrast the problems of external rewards with the benefits of internal ones. In contrast, a sense of personal growth and professional autonomy introduces the positive side of intrinsic motivation. We conclude the thought by saying it provides a continuous source of energy that prevents burnout. This use of professional autonomy and burnout displays a command of job-related vocabulary. Therefore, although a living wage is necessary, it is the internal drive and passion for one's craft that ultimately determine a person's career longevity and happiness. Finally, we wrap up our post with a strong concluding statement. We begin with, therefore, although a living wage is necessary, to show we haven't forgotten the importance of basic needs. Then we finish with our ultimate conclusion. It is the internal drive and passion for one's craft that ultimately determine a person's career longevity and happiness. This brings the discussion back to the professor's question about long-term satisfaction and leaves a strong, clear, final impression.